So I stumbled upon your YouTube channel. YouTube figured that I would like your content and they were correct. And then I kind of put it together like, I think he might be local here. So maybe can you give an overview of who you are and how you got here?
It's a long story, a long road. No, I grew up outside of, I don't know if you're familiar, right by the Joliet Country Club. A little neighborhood called Mannendale, like kind of right outside the fence off of Mills Road. Actually, funny story how it started is golfers were probably not quite as wild because they didn't hit it as far back then, but they would often hit the golf balls over the fence. So I'd find golf balls, and I actually started imitating. I had a stick and I would imitate what the golfers were doing on the course. My grandma wasn't too fond of this, but I dug a couple holes in my yard and I had the stick and I actually would just imitate the golfers. I would putt with this stick into these holes. So there was a gentleman that kind of saw me doing this, and he gave me a golf club that was probably from the 1950s, this old club, and this club never left my side. Like I would putt with it, not putt with it, but I would hit it in the park, in the field, in the yard, wherever I could. Ultimately, I got an old second-hand set of clubs. I hit balls whenever I could with these. So that was probably when I was about 12 years old. After my freshman year of high school, I was lucky enough to get a junior season pass to the Joliet Park District. So I lived about 4 or 5 miles from Woodruff, and I would ride my bike in the summer after my freshman year. I'd ride my bike with my clubs on my shoulder from my house to Woodruff every day, and I would play golf 12 hours a day. I went from being the worst player on the freshman team to being the MVP of the varsity at Joliet Central my sophomore year, and went on to play golf at University of St. Francis after that. So that's kind of how I got started in the game.
So that actually answers a lot of questions because your moniker on YouTube is Mr. Short Hitter, but you're really not a short hitter, comparatively speaking. You have a beautiful swing. And so I think the expectations were a lot lower. It's like Mr. Short Hitter, but no, like he's hitting beautiful. And I watched your video yesterday, or at least it was posted yesterday, and I think you shot one under par for 9 without the pins. So
Right.
I guess that then the next question is, how did you get started with filming these videos for YouTube? What was the idea? How did that come about?
I had the YouTube channel probably for a couple years. My little brother kind of encouraged me. He said, you're creating some, you do a lot in golf, and it would kind of inspire a lot of people to take up the game, to play the game. You should create a channel. So I started the channel. I didn't really do anything with it for a while. I just created a little video here and there. And what happened over last winter, I picked up a 7-wood. It was always in my head whether I should hit a 7-wood or a 3 hybrid. I had a 3 hybrid, 4 hybrid. So I was trying to make that decision. I picked up this 7-wood in the winter, and then it just sat in the corner. At that time, it was still kind of, I've been golfing a long time, so it's always kind of been a stigma with the 7-wood, like that they're for senior golfers. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it kind of sat in the corner. Then it was June to where I decided I want to actually see if I should put this club in my bag. And when I thought about it, I'm like, well, let's do a comparison, which made me then decide, okay, let's do a comparison video. I'll compare the 7-wood to the 3 hybrid. Once I did that, I posted that video, and it seemed like it was the first video that I created that got a lot of engagement. It seemed like it answered a lot of questions for people. There was a lot of people trying to make that same decision that I was. And from that, it kind of encouraged me to say, hey, I could create some value here for people. And that is really what pushed me to create more content. So I would say June is really when I started making content on a regular basis once that video came out. And even now, that's still probably the most popular video on my channel.
So the content that you post is very well done, and I think anybody's ever tried to create a video will understand this is not easy. What you're doing is not easy. That's a whole different, from the sound to the editing to all of that. Do you have any background in video editing and creation?
Actually, I don't. It's just a kind of a learn on the job experience, right? I look back at some of the videos that I started or that I did when I first, including that 7-wood versus 3-wood video, and I kind of marvel at how far I've come. And you know, I make a goal with anything in life is to try to get 1% better, 1% better every day. So every video that I make, I try to make it a little better than the last one. And editing, like you're saying, it's really not an easy process at all. You can spend, on an 8-minute video, you can easily spend 8 hours editing that video, easily. So sometimes I have to kind of tell myself, okay, this video is ready to go. Because otherwise I could sit there 10, 15 hours if I let myself. So I do enjoy that process, but it is a challenge. But no, I didn't have any background in it when I started. It's just trying to learn something, just trying to learn a little bit more every day, and also learning some shortcuts to where the videos I'm making now probably 4 months ago would have taken me twice as long to make them. But I'm learning some shortcuts as I go.
So how do you then decide the topics that you want to create videos about?
Most of the videos I kind of look at, is it something that can help the viewer? Whether it be a comparison like what got me started, that 7-wood versus 3 hybrid video. I've done videos 5 hybrid versus 5 iron, because those are people making decisions of what should be the longest club in their bag. I do like the strategy videos. I think that's, you know, I'm not a PGA professional or anything, but I think that I'm not the most physically gifted golfer. So I think what I've done throughout my golf career is I've leaned on strategy more. So some of the things that are kind of second nature to me strategically on a golf course, there's a lot of people that probably don't think about that. So I think that's an area where I can really benefit, especially there's a lot of higher handicappers that are gravitating to my channel. So I think the strategy of, like the video you just talked about, you know, I had the group in front of me take all the pins out and leave them anywhere, so that even subconsciously, if there's a pin, you kind of swing towards that pin. But if there's no pin there, I've got no choice. Just hit it in the middle of the green. So obviously that video is one that I think can help people, that you should be aiming at the green more often, right? To take it to extreme, you may have a golfer that doesn't think about that strategy, to where they may have a pin that's tucked to the back right of the green over a bunker, and there's water, right, and they're aiming at that pin. So I think those are the things that I can do that can help the golfer. That's one way. If there's something that I'm going to try in my golf game, for instance, I recently picked up, it's a replica of a bunker. Okay, I actually built, I haven't released a video on it, but I'll probably do it in the spring. Is last year I built a putting green in my backyard. So with this putting green, I kind of thought jokingly to myself that I should build a bunker, but I don't want to get into the process of building a bunker for this green. So then I thought, okay, is there some kind of product that could be a replica of a bunker where I can practice my bunker shots outside on this green? I found that product, so I'm going to try it, and if it works for me, then I'll do it and do a review on the channel. So if it's something I can do to help the golfer, if it's some product that I'm going to try that I like, and probably about 30% of the videos at least are based on subscriber feedback. I may do a video, I do a lot of golf ball reviews. I may review I've got a Titleist AVX video coming up. A viewer may watch that video and they may say, have you tried the MaxFly Tour ball? So subscribers are constantly giving, for instance, one video I did, a guy asked about the Vice Drive, and just today I actually looked at the channel, and the first comment was on a video where he said, "Hey, I know you're going to do the Vice Drive. When are you going to do that?" You know, so a lot of it is subscriber feedback also.
Are you able to tell the location of your subscribers? Are they mostly here local, or are they all over?
You can tell just by country, but that's a great question. I got a funny one for you too. Is I actually posted a community post yesterday that I was going to be on your podcast today, and one of the first comments I got was someone saying, "Oh, good luck, greetings from the Netherlands." So sometimes they do give me comments to where I know where they are, but that's pretty cool, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy about making the content is you're interacting with people from all over the world.
Mm-hmm. That was actually going to be my next question. Then all of these various steps, like from deciding what the videos are going to be, then to filming it, then to the editing. What's your favorite part of the whole process?
My favorite part of the process is interacting with the subscribers, the viewers. For someone like the comment I just mentioned, for someone from across the globe to be able to communicate with this person, and for them to say that they enjoy my content, enjoy what I'm doing, that just means the world to me. So for them to say that, hey, the video I just made about hitting the middle of the green, there was someone I had a kind of a long little conversation with someone about that. So for me to help someone, I mean, that's the best part. Now secondly, just in the actual filming editing process, although the editing process is really time consuming, I'd say that's probably my second favorite part. And the reason is that I look at it all as almost like you're trying to paint a picture, you're telling a story. You know, you're taking all these random video clips and you're trying to put them together in a cohesive way to where the viewer can see this message, can see the story that you're trying to convey. And I would say that's probably my second favorite part of the process.
Your answer actually makes a lot of sense, that you like interacting with your subscribers, the people who are paying attention, because I think one of the things that struck me when I first started watching your videos is, I like this guy. You have a likability. It's so genuine how it comes off, but you also speak very well. You're able to communicate these thoughts. You're able to do that. That's hard to do, right? It's for most of us, it's a challenge. What do you attribute this? I guess it's hard for you to say, obviously, your likability, but I mean, are you just is it just because you're coming from your heart and you're doing this, or do you think there's other things in your past, could be career or what other, that have kind of put you down this path that allow you to do this?
I just think that I try my best to share my experiences in just a genuine way. I've learned a long time ago you can't try to be anyone else. A lot of channels out there, you've got these kind of loud, more rambunctious, outgoing content creators, and that's not me. I just try to be genuine. I try to be myself, and I think that the way I look at it is the people that can appreciate that are the people that are going to gravitate to my channel. You mentioned the Mistah short hitter thing, and really I call myself that. I do recognize that I'm not a short hitter compared to the average golfer, but like you said, it kind of answered the question early along, and I do have to answer that sometimes in the comment section, that I'm kind of I still compete in amateur events, so I'm more comparing myself to the people I'm playing against in the Illinois Mid Amateur Qualifier or the Illinois Open, to where everyone seems to be hitting at 290 and I'm hitting at 240. So I think the people that are gravitating to my channel are the people that can relate to me. I think I'm more relatable to the average golfer. I think the average golfer can see what I'm doing and kind of be inspired and say, hey, you don't have to hit the ball 290 yards to play good golf. Because if you look at the media and you look at the commercials and you look at, every driver's going longer, everybody's hitting it further, you look at those things and it really makes you kind of think that if you don't do that, then you're incapable of being a decent golfer. And I think in many ways that can be discouraging. Even when I looked at YouTube, it seemed like the majority of people that I ran across, content creators, were either people like that who were hitting the ball 290, 300 yards. You got Kyle Berkshire, you've got the good guys, you've got Rick Shields, Peter Finch. None of these guys are short hitters. So you've got guys like that, or on the other end of the spectrum, you have content creators who are shorter hitters, but they have trouble. They're playing more fun golf, and they're having trouble breaking 100. So I feel like I didn't see a lot of people that were hitting it distances that I was, that actually was playing decent golf. And so I think the people that gravitate to my channel are people that can appreciate that and actually are inspired by it a little.
That's completely makes sense, because as you're describing that, when I'm watching those other, YouTube content creators, it's entertaining in that, but I can't empathize with that, right? I mean, they're like, even like the good guys, they're all hitting the ball a mile, and even the sort of the way they approach it isn't like me. Whereas when I saw your videos, like, oh, he's like me, Kirk's like me, and I was able to empathize with that. Then from your perspective, knowing that you haven't been at this for very long, but if you look on the other side of it, you see these other social media personalities, people creating videos on YouTube and Instagram and whatever. Their popularity is now usurping the people who are the broadcasters on TV. They have a bigger audience than even, say, the folks who used to have the prime spots on CBS or NBC. So putting that into context, knowing that this is a really unique time, especially in golf with social media, what do you think might be the future for you? Have you ever thought about like where you'd eventually like to take this?
I do feel like the channel has some potential. Initially, my goal was to just create some content that people can enjoy and that could help the golfers out there, the people that can appreciate it. But I do think I have a unique part of the content creation to where there are more people that can appreciate what I do, that can understand what I do, that can relate to what I do. And I think there is a real upside to that. Like you said, good, they are very entertaining. But early along in me creating content, there was more than one subscriber that said to me that they can relate to what I do more than they can relate to the good guys. Like literally in the comment section, they're mentioning good, So that makes me feel good. And they had some other not so nice things to say about good. But I do think that my position is unique, and I do think continuing on the path that I'm on, I think a few years from now I could grow the channel and have a pretty good following.
So last question for you. You're probably one of the best people to ask this question because your passion for the game. Can you tell me your favorite courses that you've played? And then secondly, the courses that you would love to play. And it could be local. Probably let's focus on local if at all possible.
Like many golfers, I think I'm a little biased about where I've played well at, right? I do like I do really love Ravislow Country Club, and I think I like Ravislow just because I am a big fan of of older style courses and tree lined courses. I feel like I have a unique advantage there because as you watch my videos, I don't hit the driver offline very much, so. There was one year, probably 2 or 3 years ago, I played 3 different amateur events at Ravislow and won all 3. So that's probably have a little bit to do with it. But I do love that course. I love Mistwood. I grew up playing at Woodruff, but I grew up playing there as a kid at 13 years old. So that's always going to have a special place in my heart. But I would say those are a few of my favorites locally. Some courses up north I like are courses like Sunset Valley. Again, older courses, Lake Bluff, those are probably some of my favorites locally.
Courses you
Oh,
love to play.
one more. I forgot one more. Thunderhawk in Beach Park.
Yes, yeah.
I really love Thunderhawk.
That's funny too, because when you're listing Ravislow, Mistwood, Woodruff, and then when you say up north, that's what I think of immediately. Like, okay, there's certainly Thunderhawk is got to be at the top. It's like it's almost like Wisconsin. You're in like a different world. Beautiful.
Yeah, Thunderhawks is definitely one of my favorite courses, no doubt about it.
And so then, what would be courses that you'd love to play? Usually would be private courses that are hard to get on, or ones that are kind of on your bucket list.
Well, I would say the number one is probably the course that's on everyone's bucket list that none of us will get to play, Augusta. If I could play Augusta, I'd be that would be it. But Augusta, I was lucky enough. My sophomore year of college, we made nationals, and nationals was at TPC. We played the Valley course, the tournament, but while we were there, we got to play Sawgrass, the stadium course. So I'd like to go back there. That's a course that is just a beautiful course and a nice challenge. Incredible challenge, not a nice challenge. But I would say that's one of my favorites. Augusta. I guess if you're dreaming, courses like St. Andrews, right, home of golf, that would probably be a top of the list. So if I could play those, if I play St. Andrews and Augusta, I think that would be it. That'd be enough.
Sure.
If you did have keep dreaming, if you did have the opportunity to play those places, now Augusta's off the table because I don't think they let you take pictures, but could you see yourself, if you got to go play St. Andrews, would you bring your camera with and record it, or?
Oh, definitely. The thing is, just because of time constraints, if I'm on the golf course, there's a pretty good chance I've got a camera with me. The only way I can actually create this content is because I'm able to do it, mixing it with practice. If I'm playing a practice round for a golf tournament, there's a good chance I got a camera with me, and I'm either going to do a course review or film a video, some type of video. I have to fit it in with my lifestyle. So the few times I get to go play, I have to try to film it. So yes, St. Andrews, I definitely have I think that would get quite the views.
5 holes to go, just play 13. Need a partner way in, gotta hit more greens.